I want to kick off by asking you to characterize this visit by the Crown Prince to the United States. Are you achieving what you wanted to achieve?
Well, it's a continuation of a long journey of partnership between the U.S. And Saudi Arabia. You have to remember that the founding king, one of his first international partnership and meetings was with President Roosevelt in 1945. Also, the foundation of the Saudi economy over the last 8 to 9 decades has been oil, and it has been the result of a partnership also with the U.S. private sector. So the visit is focusing on this: political, security, as well as investments and new partnership in business and technology.
Speaking of those relationships, your background, of course, at Saudi Aramco for many years. Given all the speculation that we've been hearing about what's going to happen next with regards to the IPO, are you disappointed at all that it seems to be difficult to get this listing going?
You know, the listing of Saudi Aramco is a big decision for the kingdom. It's essentially the backbone of our Saudi economy is oil, and Aramco is the largest global company of any type, of any business. So I think we have to get it right. We have to be ready, which we are, but then the markets have to be ready. We never thought it's going to be an easy overnight thing. We always knew it's going to be a process that will take a number of years, and I think we're on schedule, on track, and we will determine the timing on our own terms. We'll make sure it is optimum for the kingdom first and foremost.
And just if you want to clarify that statement, just because there's been so much in the press about when you'll list, how you'll list, whether it will be this year or it will be next year, can you confirm that you're going to list domestically before you list internationally?
Well, like I said, the timing and the exact venue will be announced when we're ready.
But you said you were ready.
Well, we're ready with the preparation. The company is 100% ready. The board of directors of Saudi Aramco, which I chair, have reviewed in every meeting over the last 2 years the progress, including a couple of weeks ago. We've reviewed the 2017 financials, which have been prepared in accordance with international accounting standards, and it's investor friendly. And the company is ready. The government has also changed its appropriate tax laws and regulatory environment to accommodate a public listing, and the government is ready from a regulatory standpoint. What remains is the selection of a potential secondary venue and the timing. And like I said, we need to make sure the markets are ready for us to do that, and we're ready to do it in the second half if we determine that the timing is optimal. But if we have to slip, we will slip. I don't see 2018 as a necessary year to list unless it's optimum.
When you look at what's happening in the nuclear energy space, the Crown Prince announcing that if Iran were to obtain a nuclear weapon, then Saudi Arabia would be well within its rights to do the same. That raised a lot of eyebrows on Capitol Hill about what a nuclear energy program in Saudi Arabia is really going to look like. Can you clarify for me whether Saudi Arabia would then be willing to allow in international inspectors, work with the IAEA, in order to work with the United States?
Absolutely. Our program is first and foremost for civilian purposes. And we're signatories of non-proliferation as well as the IAEA safeguards agreement. So inspections are a given in the case of Saudi Arabia.
How close are you to getting that deal with the United States?
I hope soon. I hope soon. I think there is alignment. I think the United States want to be part of the Saudi civil program, and so do we.
Walk me through the agreements that you've had in OPEC and with non-OPEC members like Russia. There seems to be more to that agreement with Russia in terms of further programs and potentially continuing the agreement after June. What's that going to look like?
In terms of?
In terms of production agreements.
Well, I think there is a consensus and a conviction that what has worked over the last 2 years is needed for the years to come. It has been good to the kingdom, it has been good to Russia, it's been good to other producers, and ironically, it's been good for consumers, the stability of oil markets. And I think everybody wants us to continue to steward the market going forward.
Are there going to be changes come June? Are you looking at a review of options?
We will review in June what are the specific targets for a balanced market. There has been a lot of talk with the 5-year average of 13 to 17, or should we look at the normal years before the glut? Should we look at forward days of supply cover? All of these will be studied between now and then, and they will be presented to the ministers. We will have, of course, the OPEC seminar in Vienna. And we will deliberate about what is the level at which we consider that we have achieved a balanced market. But I think significantly important is, even if we achieve a balanced market, if we lift our hands from the steering wheel and let the market without stewardship, then we may find ourselves in a quick time out of balance again and volatility returns. So what we will be discussing in June and in subsequent meetings during 2018 is how do we continue to manage and steward the market going forward with the participation of all major producers. So we already have 24. I hope to get more between now and year-end 2018. And I think people have benefited from the hard work of 2016, 17, and so far.
Who else are you looking to bring on board there specifically?
Well, I cannot mention specific countries until they agree to join, but I think there is a general appreciation that what we have done with the OPEC and non-OPEC agreement has been good, not only to the member countries, but to other producers who have not participated. And it's only fair that others should join. Of course, we would love for U.S. producers to join, but I know that's difficult to get. They have benefited, of course, and we continue to monitor their production and progress.
Walk me through what other areas you could work with Russia, because if you were looking to do nuclear energy, build reactors, you could do that with Russia, you could do that with Pakistan, you could do that with several other countries, not just the United States. What other areas of partnership in the energy space are you looking for with the Russians?
Well, Russia has an advanced oil and gas industry. They have advanced companies that explore, discover, produce, and process oil and gas. I visited the Yamal LNG terminal by Novatek, and it's an impressive project with a lot of engineering. We have worked with Lukoil in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we've talked to them about participating in some of their refining projects. Russian companies do a lot of oil trading, and some of the locations where Saudi Aramco has refineries may be opportune for us to source Russian crudes, and vice versa. Some of their international locations may benefit from Saudi crude. So trading is obviously an area of collaboration. Their oil field supply and services companies have done well. If you look at Russian production, despite sanctions over the past few years, it's been continuing to increase, and they've been able to do it while lowering their costs and improving their recovery rates. In the meantime, Saudi Aramco has fantastic technologies at play, and we've been able to achieve the highest recovery levels and also have high levels of discovery per well drilled. So I think cooperating and sharing experiences and technology, doing joint research, while encouraging Russian supply companies to come and invest in the kingdom is an area that we started working on, and I think you will be hearing about Russian investments in the supply chain of Saudi Arabia.
Did that include potentially what we heard from the RDIF a couple of weeks ago?
Absolutely. $1 billion have already been earmarked in joint investments, and projects have been identified, and I think you you will see Russian companies supplying not only Saudi Arabia, but the whole region.
And what role they could play potentially in that Aramco IPO?
You know, the IPO is going to be open to all investors, and there is Russian capital that is looking to invest wisely in companies with great reputation and potential, and we believe Saudi Aramco is going to be on top of this list. So what they have indicated about interest in pooling Russian investment from individuals, from funds, from pensions, and directing it to Saudi Aramco is welcome. And I think it's similar to what we've seen from every major economy. Every major economy is already looking at the Aramco IPO as a very attractive outlet for their investments.
It's just going to be about timing.
Timing, and stay tuned. I don't think it's going to be long before you hear.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.